All right. Morning, everybody. Happy, what day is today? I think Thursday. I feel like it's Thursday. I think it's Thursday. So unfortunately, you're not going to get to see my lovely face this morning. My camera is not working. I can show you what it's currently doing. Um, so you can look at this fun image if you'd like. Basically, what ended up happening, I tripped a circuit this morning. Everything shut off upstairs, and by the time I got power back up here, the USB-Cs. Hold on. All right, guys. I need to. Unfortunately, I've actually. So the breaker is still not working. I'm running everything off of an extension cord right now. And I need to go play around with the circuit board. I will. Here's how about this? If I can get power back on here in like the next 5 or 10 minutes, I'll be back on with you guys. But I am. There's currently like someone that's about to get sent out here. I'm an electrician. Perfect. Well, I am going. Yeah, I'm going to try to come back here in like just a couple of minutes. So let's do a little standby. Guys, if anyone's asking in the chat, where's Bryce? I'm not even going to end the stream. I will be back here in just a couple of minutes. So I'm going to unplug everything. I'm going to go try flipping the circuits one more time, or try to walk over to the circuit board. I'm worried that I blew a fuse, but I don't know. Like the fuse itself blew, but I don't know. I tried turning it off and back on. I already did try doing that. So guys, I'll be back in like hopefully 5 or 10 minutes max. But I'm going to try to go shut everything off and try to do this again. So if anyone asks where I am, let them know that ideally I'll be back. Just a second. All right. We're back. We are back. Unfortunately, that did not work. It sounds like it might be a service line issue. I don't know. I honestly have no idea what I'm talking about. So there's also that aspect to it. So I'm loading back up right now. That does mean I'm not going to have my camera on. Got to get someone sent out here. Again, I'm no electrician, but I literally turned every circuit off and the main breaker off, kept it off for a minute or so, and that did nothing. So unfortunate, but we will live on. I'm going to be sharing my screen here. So I've had a little bit of a wrench thrown in my morning trading plans, but that's okay. To be honest with you, today feels very weird, and I'll explain why. Basically, every stock that gapped up this morning went red. And so, like, literally just about every single one, other than Kala, which Kala is probably, if there's a top watch, one of my top watches. It's like a first green day trying to turn into a breakout. But it's very mid-range. It ran right into our kind of main resistance levels. I can't, for some reason, draw a line. I'm completely frozen. That's fun. Well, I don't know what's going on there. My computer is acting very strange right now. Probably because the power is not really working. That's probably a good portion of it. Why can't I? Everything else is working. Why can't I draw my support and resistance lines? Oh, brother. I have no idea what's going on. So you're going to need to give me a minute as I load back up. What? Login is on. Okay. Maybe that works. Yeah, can't say I didn't try. That's right. But anyways, as I was saying, though, most of our gappers this morning just gapped up and then went red. Let me show you what I mean here. So besides Kala, we had KITT, which is kind of leading the robotics small cap sector, gapped up, went red. We had Lace that dropped a robotics PR this morning. A pretty good robotics PR. Gapped up, went red. We had CTOR. I don't even know if that had news or not. It was a biotech, I believe. Gapped up, went red. We had Hub C, cybersecurity. Gapped up, went red. We had Mamo, which honestly, decent news. Another robotics company gapped up, went red. And this was a breakout chart. Oh, come on. I can't even do a daily chart. There's something wrong with my computer right now. I'd probably have to restart it, but I'll restart it at a different time. Perhaps what I'll do right now is I'll switch it over to this for a moment because it's just a computer problem. Just so you guys can see the daily chart as well. Oh, by the way, then we also had TPET, tried gapping up, went red. But Mamo, so the daily chart is going to be over here on the right-hand side of your screen, guys. This is a pretty fresh chart with a breakout potential. We broke out in pre-market on a lot of volume, 300,000 shares, 460. I'll draw this breakout line right here. That was the breakout level, and then it failed. We had PPCB, gapped up, went red. Right, just like there was nothing. CBio, gapped up, went red. So my point of showing you all of these is that the market has been very weird this morning. There has not been a single runner that has really held up. And so on days like that, it sketches me out a little bit. I get a little bit sketched out on just like really trading because there's just been no real strength in the market today. Does that make sense? So I am going to go through a couple of just movers that are happening right now because my multi-day watches, KITT, for example, literally doing nothing. What's XCH? Do we have anything there? Not really. Very mid-range. Ran right into our 180 resistance level from this day here. Yeah, my whole point in today is that I am going to a QCLS. Yeah, very weird move. QCLS. Wow, actually it gapped up. That gapped up pretty well. Okay. That's not bad. Again, this is a pump. This is a pump from a figure on Twitter. X, whatever you call it. I think it's got a lot of resistance. I think the only reason it's running is because of that pump. There's no other news. And to me, it's not an easy trade. We're running straight into a wall of resistance here at 590, right? We've got 590, this highest volume run days VWAP. Then we've got this 590 and this 590. Like we're just kind of running into a brick wall or a glass wall, as I always like to say. So I'm pretty hesitant on taking that trade. I hope it works, but like to me, I just think there's probably I think it's gonna be really choppy, even if it does work. As we already saw, right? We kind of already saw this. So we've got low of day, pre-market high break to a low of day break, right back up. And again, normally that can be a bullish thing if we break out the fake breakout, but it's not really a breakout. On the intraday it is, but on the daily chart it's not. So much resistance here at 590. To me, a breakout at this point is going to be like $9. So I'm going to need to wait a bit, but to really let it prove itself. So not a touch for me. I just kind of want to explain why. ABLV is a solid maybe. Okay. Or not. Or not. Zoom in screen, I can only go so far. This is a tech issue day, as Ruth Miller said. Today is a tech issue day for sure. My computer's acting very strange. I'm doing the best I can with what I have, folks. What do you think about PLRZ last night in after hours? Yeah, I actually longed this. I got long down here at $9 in after hours yesterday at this little consolidation level. My best sell was at $15. Then I shorted this breakdown right here on $19.50. It was really good. I think it already made the move. Like, to be honest with you, well, I say that. I made the easy move. It's probably going to be a trade today. It's going to need to show me a sign of an intraday short trap first. That's a good call, though. This probably should be my top watch. I need to let it play out first. I'm not super convinced in it yet. I mean, this has got a long way to pull back if it wants to. But, you know, in the same breath, we're also over most of our major levels here. I mean, we have a gap fill from really like right now from about 27, which we're not over yet, 27 to like 40. And then after 50, we got a gap fill to like 500. That is not my way of saying I think it goes to any of those prices, by the way. Right? More instead, what it is just my way of saying that could this do something fun? Absolutely. We got a lot of room. Our next level really isn't until like 27 on the daily chart here. But we need to show signs that shorts get trapped again today. I think a lot of shorts kind of already got blown out yesterday in that after hours. Now, I will say the one interesting thing about PLRZ from yesterday was that there was never a blow off volume candle. There was never one candle where it was like, oh boy, shorts just got railed, right? Today we're trading a lot more volume. What I need to see today is a big fake breakdown, ideally through 16. I honestly, as much as I'd love to see it break pre-market lows, like down at 14, I think that'd be a really tough recovery and it would make the trade itself really tough. So I'm not super into that. Full breakdown, but a low of day break through 16 and then a snap back up. I think this could get squeezy. Just a matter of, is it going to trap enough shorts today? Bryce, your silver. Yeah, silver has been getting weird. It is working today, and it's fallen off a cliff. But it was a bit of an overextended gap down. Actually, that worked out. The fake high of daybreak there actually did work quite nice. Again, unfortunately, that was during the time where I was getting my internet back up and running. Today, I just have to accept that I'm going to miss a fair bit of trades. This little fake high daybreak was really nice. 52.30 down to 51.50. And then on the daily chart, we've got our kind of fake breakout there. This was actually a great setup today. Unfortunately, I was very flustered. Just kind of missed it. So anyways, guys, yeah, I'm just going to keep, I'm not going to keep silver on watch. I think PLRZ should be my main focus here to keep on watch. Today's going to probably be a slow day for me. Again, this is something I learned from a really, not learned, but something we all know, but I got to really see it in action with a very successful trader. Some of you guys might know him, Adam Jarrett. He's up like nearly $7 million. And I was hanging out with him a couple of weeks ago, and he had a late night, like basically didn't go to bed kind of late night. And the next day there were some good runners, and he's like just not trading. I was like, "You're not going to trade?" He's like, "Dude, on days where I can't be prepared, there's no reason to trade. There'll be another good trade tomorrow. There'll be another good one." That's kind of how I feel right now. Just in the sense that like I feel very flustered from this kind of electrical mishap that's going on. I haven't been able to really get in a rhythm, get in a routine. So I feel like it's probably best for me just not to rush into anything. Really be patient on PLRZ setting up. Really not try to get upset about missing the silver move, which looking back at it was actually great. Because I just think that's how you get FOMO. I think that's just how you get max FOMO. And I don't want to get max FOMO. I want to just keep trading simple, keep it easy. So gonna stay extra patient. Maybe right now what I'll do is just we'll do a little bit of Q&A questions that you guys have. QCLS was a good trade. Yeah, it was a good trade. It was fine. It was fine. Again, problem here so far is that your entry is 603 and your only real risk level is 540. Right? Like, that's your only real risk level so far. So I guess to me, from a risk reward perspective, it ran 33 cents and you had to risk about 70. So it's done a 0.5 to 1 risk to reward trade so far. So the risk odds are just not in your favor, right? This needs to go to like roughly 670 for it to be a 1-to-1 risk to reward trade. To me, that's just not. That's a 1-to-1, right? On a breakout, kind of a breakout, a high day breakout. Really a resistance trade, a breaking out into more resistance. Again, one thing I tell traders a lot is just because a trade went up. Oh, PLRZ. Oh, we didn't break 16. That's unfortunate. But one thing I tell traders a lot, sorry, as I was saying, is that just because a stock goes up doesn't mean it was a good trade. Like from a risk reward perspective, how much did you have to risk in order to get that? If that trade didn't work, was it worth the reward? Right? And oftentimes, a lot of times, the answer is surprisingly no. I find, right? Like PLRZ, well, nothing's happening on PLRZ, so I don't really have an example there. But I want to make sure that not only the odds of the trade working are in my favor, but if the trade doesn't work, that the risk is low enough where I can make still a good reward. And this is also largely why I'm not so concerned with percentage gains, not nearly as much as I am from a risk reward perspective. If I can risk 1 cent to make 3, I would take that trade all day versus a trade where I can make 10%, but I have to risk 10%. Because it's more about position size than it is percent gain. And this is why I'm such a big advocate for something like TradeFunder. Where like, yeah, percentage gain matters more in a small account, but a lot of times when you're looking at percentage gain, you're not quite considering the risk reward quite as heavily. Whereas if you've got a $2,000 account and you're risking 0.5% to make 1.5%, well, unfortunately, the max you can really do there is make $30. But on a $25,000 account, now we're talking about $300. That's a much better trade, in my opinion. And then if you can use margin, right, with TradeFunder, you get $100,000 margin. If you can do that on a daily basis, well, now you're talking about $1,500 potential gain, right? So yeah, the percentage gain isn't big, but the risk to reward is. The risk to reward is solid. So it's a concept we go over a lot, and I think it's important to talk about. I don't like the limit. PLRZ very well might work there through high day 1820. Again, for me, it didn't set up in an A+ fashion. I would have liked to see shorts have a reason to enter this. And you could maybe argue, actually, that's not a terrible argument, that fake trend breakdown. It's not as powerful as a fake low of day break. I don't know if shorts have quite the reason to get trapped in this yet, but I would almost rather see at this point as a fake breakout through 1820 right there, pull back, and then re-break out the fake breakout. I'm not just going to buy a straight up breakout of PLRZ. It could work. It's not an awful trade. I need to see more trapping action. I just don't think, like, yes, are shorts underwater? Yes. Big picture, yes, shorts are underwater. But I'm not trying to just trade the big picture. I'm also trying to get really good risk to reward on this trade. And so I want to try to let it set up better. And again, as I was just kind of saying, I'm going to try to wait for an optimal risk reward, especially on a day like today where I just am a little bit mentally out of it, I guess. I don't feel mentally 100% there right now. I had FOMO from missing some trades earlier when my power went out. And I'm still kind of feeling that. I still feel a little bit of FOMO right now. See, listen, I'm going to argue with you here. I'm seeing someone say the winner was QCLS. I disagree. I just disagree. It kind of worked. It still only went to 640. Like, if you entered down here, sure. If you entered at 560, I just didn't have enough confirmation to enter that. That to me felt like a pretty low confirmation entry. If that was your entry, though, yes, good winner. If you're buying that breakout, no, not a good winner. From a risk reward perspective, just not a strong winner there. But if you're entering down here, not bad. It's not my style of trading, but for the way that I trade, that was not a layup of a trade. I like trades with high levels of confirmation. Winners go all day. That's a great saying there. The best trades should keep working, at least in my mind, right? Because the daily chart on QCLS just sucks. Like, I don't want to be trading a bad daily chart. I want to be trading a good daily chart. And so, yeah, you can get some small wins here and there. But PLRZ, this is just going to be a waiting game for me. And you know, I'm not trying to bash on the QCLS trade too much here, but here's the truth, right? See SGBX, I'll take a look at that. Here's the truth. If you are not yet consistent as a trader, I'm not saying you got to take what I say with, you know, don't take what I say as the holy grail. But I will tell you this. The reason that most traders, and at least myself included, struggle with profitability and consistency isn't because they don't have entry patterns dialed in. It's because they're trading bad daily charts. Like SGBX, it's okay. It's kind of a first screen day. But again, we're just running straight into resistance. Like $4 is a 390 really. 390 is such heavy resistance, right? Let me clear this. So again, over on the right-hand side of your screen is the daily chart here. Okay. 71 million shares traded here, tops out at 397. 117 million shares traded here, bottoms out at 389, right? Close here from an 88 million share day. Let me draw these lines here real quick. Bottoms out this day, closed the day rather, at 382. Today we've traded 1 million shares. So we're fighting against so much resistance, right? This to me is not, could it go to like 420? Maybe. Could it go higher? Sure, anything can happen. I'm not like, an asteroid could hit my car tomorrow and I'll die. That would suck. It's not impossible, but like, I'm not going to bet on that. And so in the same breath here, like, I'm not going to bet on this going to 450. The odds are not in my favor. We are running into a massive wall of resistance. And so I'm okay being wrong on something like this, but I would rather be shorting something like this. I'm sure this would be a 20% move into just like a brick wall, right? Would I drive my car into a brick wall hoping that it went through it? No. Right? If I had to escape the police, right? And I have a big brick wall in front of me, or I could take an alternative route. I could take a different trade, or I could try to drive my car through a brick wall and hope that that works. What are you going to do? You're probably going to take the alternative route because you don't think your car is going to go through a brick wall. That's how I feel about this, right? I'd just rather take a different trade. Or if I see somebody that's trying to outrun the cops, and they're trying to drive through a brick wall, and I have the option to bet on that. Like it's a betting market. Am I going to bet that they're going to make it through the brick wall, or am I going to bet that they're going to crash? I'm taking the bet that they're going to crash. So that's the weirdest analogy I've ever given, but like in my head, that makes a lot of sense. So I hope I just painted a fun picture for you guys. Bryce, didn't you say December is supposed to be a good time to trade? What happened? I think it's been good. I think it's been good. I mean, we had AMA on December 1st. AMA was a great trade. In fact, we had a really nice win on AMA on this day. We bought here. I had 11, I think I had an 11.10 average, 11.20. I don't remember the exact price. I don't remember where I got filled, but roughly 11. We're selling into the 15.16s. That was a great trade to start. What else do we have here? Not just because December is a good time to trade doesn't mean every single day is going to be a banger, right? I should preface that really quick, but man, what else was there? My internet is so slow right now because my Wi-Fi extender is not working thanks to this whatever this circuit issue that I'm having. So pardon me, and it's taken just a second here. So we had AMA. We had AMA twice. Oh yeah, we also had. I wasn't on stream with this one because this was a midday trade. I longed FLYE here at 12, sold at 16. PLRZ. I actually traded this after hours yesterday. I bought after hours at $9, sold at 15. I think it's been pretty damn good. Right, we've had some really good trades. I had two different longs on AMA. Actually, yesterday, funny enough, yesterday was I had pretty good size on this one. Even though the trade didn't fully work, I still had, this is one of my best trades of the month, right? Even after that loss, buying back here through that breakout and selling into this strength. I also had a little scalp on it pre-market as well, which helped contribute to that. But like, I think we've had pretty good trades so far. Sweet. Oh, that's awesome. I'm seeing FLYE was my biggest winner this December so far. Awesome. And yeah, also, Jara has mentioned, we are only a couple of days in. Give the market some more time to play out here. I have faith this is going to be a good month. I think probably January, February are still going to be hotter. That'd be my guess, but we still have some good opportunities. Cala, so much chop. Yeah, I mean, again, right? Honestly, pretty impressive breakout here, but like that's so tough, right? Grind up, grind up, grind up, dump near low a day, breakout over pre-market highs. But same exact concept, right? We look on the daily chart here. Let's go to a 15-minute multi-day chart for some fun. I have after hours off, right? Like we just have so much resistance, right? Whoops, right here, right here, right here. And we've got more up here at 185. The stock I'm looking at right now is Cala, K-A-L-A. So, yeah, not bad, but I would rather be focused on PLRZ. This one probably takes more time to play out, just because again we're a lot of chop. It needs, for me anyways, I need to see a sign of a short being really trapped. Thoughts on PayPal as a swing? You do not want my opinion on large cap stocks. I'll tell you that right now. I would ask anybody else. I know almost nothing about trading large caps. I'm very bad at it. Although if you want my opinion, after I preface that, I think Rivian is probably one of the coolest looking swing charts. This Rivian, so Rivian, the weekly chart is just gorgeous, right? We got this little weekly curl here. Now it's got a lot of resistance, but rumors are they're working into the robotics space. And again, Rivian, I mean, they're still around. Tesla's kind of and Tesla's kind of leading the way. I think Rivian's probably a great looking long-term, like multi-month or multi-year swing chart. I just don't have that kind of patience, but like, man, that break there through like 1870, 19, I think is gorgeous. All right, PLRZ. Now, if PLRZ does set up properly, I will probably risk a lot of money on this trade. Just heads up. I think it could be a pretty good opportunity, assuming it sets up correctly. Pardon me. Oh, PLRZ. I'll probably look to take a starter through that 1720. It's not my favorite, but a starter with just some pretty moderate risk down on low a day. Honestly, in that case, I'd probably just go 1630. Just keep the loss small. I won't take big size through 1720. I really would like to see a breakdown first, but we'll see what we can get here. Kala is also breaking out, which is like hit 170. Okay. Just such a tough trade for me. I've never been. It's like a first Green Day into a breakout now, which is just strange. But cool. I've got someone to come work on the electrical here in just a few minutes. Wow, SLV is just dumping right now. What was the previous ticker? R. Rivian, RIVN, the swing chart. I was talking about Rivian for a swing, but I'm talking like multi-month, multi-year swing. And also, again, preface: I suck at large caps. So generally speaking, you do not want to take Bryce's word for a large cap idea. Okay, generally speaking, there are some exceptions. Silver, I was spot on about. I just didn't take the trade, so that's always fun. D-Pro, probably not. Nah, bad daily chart. Oh, man, PLRZ, I just want you to be an easy trade, and I just don't think you're going to be easy. Unless you give a clear fake low day breakdown. But I will say, given how, like, the fact that this gap is holding so well. Okay, come on. Fake low day breakdown. I will be, yes. Now, this is going to be a patience trade. I am not buying this dip. You probably couldn't be fine, but like, where do you risk? There's just no risk level. Now I will be looking to buy momentum with a risk on low of day. And yes, the risk is wide. It's $2 a share, but I think if this works, this is a big time runner. All right. Now, again, this is why, first of all, a couple of things. Number one, this is why I'm just staying patient, because this, for all I know, this trade could just not work all the way around. But I don't need to worry about that because I'm not in the trade, right? Instead, I'm looking for a couple of key things to happen. So, I'm actually talking to one of my trader friends about this as I speak right now. And he's saying, I think this dip is too big for it to recover. Could be true. But we also have to take into account, we traded 150 million shares on day one. Day two gave no opportunity to get out of this trade. Day three, we gap up huge, but again, there's no blowout volume anymore. There's no blow off volume. Like, shorts did not get blown out of this trade by volume. And right now, I mean, we're trading 15, 16 million shares. That's good. That's good. But to me, it just doesn't feel like shorts have really gotten bent over yet. I think there are probably a fair amount of shorts loaded in this, given this intraday chart from day one right here, right? It never broke high a day. Never broke high a day. Just couldn't do it. So shorts never really had a reason to be like, all right, got stopped out, right? Then this all happened after hours yesterday, where you can't do a short, most brokers can't do a stop loss on your short position in after hours. Now today, right, we still haven't gotten a blowout anywhere. We still haven't seen blow off volume. We still haven't seen shorts feel pain yet, other than the fact that it's up over 100% from where they were probably in on Tuesday or whatever day it was. I think Tuesday. So I think there's a lot working in the favor of the thesis if we start breaking out. I think we could very realistically, and this isn't a massive float stock either. PLRZ's float is, oh my gosh, it's 1 million. Let me double check that, because that's even crazier. So this is, to me, if this starts breaking out, to me, this is an A+ breakout idea. So I will size into this, risking low a day. It'll be a wide risk, but I mean, I think if it goes, I would not be shocked to see high 20s today. And then if we truly get like a real short squeeze, I mean, potentially even higher. QCLS did go to 7. I'll give that credit. I didn't like the daily chart at all, but that was a really nice fake breakdown right there. Yeah, I did not like the daily chart in the slightest, but congratulations to those who took it. PLRZ. So again, PLRZ, I just got asked, what's the risk to reward if this trade sets up how I want it to? Risk is going to be whatever low of day is before my entry. So right now, again, we might break down further, but in fact, I wouldn't be super upset if we had a snap down under 15, recover back to 16, grind, and start kind of grinding back up. I wouldn't be too mad about that. But obviously, again, the lower this goes, the harder the recovery is going to be. So, yeah, my risk will be whatever low of day is. My reward, I would like to see at least a 3-to-1 on this. So if I'm risking $2, I'd like to see at least $6 of upside. I'd probably start selling a little bit in the 2-to-1s and then try to hold even more after a 3-to-1, because I do think this does have potential to be incredibly squeezy if it works. And so these are ones I will probably hold on to for a little bit longer. I mean, we're by volume, there really is no true resistance anymore. I mean, our highest volume day before Tuesday was, what's this here? $15, $14.70. We traded 10 million shares. This has history of multi-day runs. That's a great start too. History of multi-day runs, it went from 5 to 15 in a few days, so 300% run. So I would hope that this 1470 level holds, first of all, on any dip here. But again, that only traded 10 million shares that day, right? So we got history of multi-day run. After that, there is no resistance by volume. It's traded a couple 100,000 shares in here. And SMX has kind of turned this type of chart into the theme. These like super beaten down, no resistance by volume type of chart where it's just like down from reverse splits and whatnot and dilution, just down significantly, like infinitely, basically off of their highs. So SMX has kind of turned this into a theme. SMX is still actually holding up quite well, by the way. But yeah, we'll see. It's got a long ways to go. I would not take my starter until about 1720 so far, which, it'd be about $2 share worth of risk. But this has a while to go. Wanted to at least go over that plan here because the truth is I probably am going to have to get hopping off before I probably have to hop off before this trade idea works because I've actually got to do my DIT webinar here in just a couple of minutes. So I'm going to be hopping off here shortly. But I will say this, right, before we get off, I want to actually highlight this comment here. GLA PLLC, GLAP LLC maybe. Calla fell back to pre-market high a day. I sold a very small profit and re-entered. Couldn't do this without TradeFunder. Thanks. That's awesome because I do want to shout out TradeFunder really quick because, again, they're the reason we're here. And more importantly, what an awesome opportunity like that I think this month is going to turn into. Whoops. We're a couple of days in so far. We're a couple of days into the month. And so, I'm not saying every day has been a banger, but I will say this, we've had opportunities. I didn't like QCLS personally. You guys know my take on that. I did not like QCLS, but a lot of you guys did, and it worked really well. We had a really nice fake breakdown there, which I wasn't watching. That is a beautiful entry. See, this is where things turn a little bit different too, by the way, because now our risk reward was tighter. Our risk was a lot tighter on this trade. Right. Risk was down at 590. The entry was at 626. So now we're only talking about roughly 40 cents a share worth of risk. It so far has run $1.40. So it's had a 3-to-1 risk to reward. And even though I didn't love the daily chart, we had that confirmation of at least a better trade with that fake breakdown. And so being able to take a trade like this, if this is what you wanted to trade, I avoided it. But really great opportunity there. And now PLRZ could be setting up for another trade. Like we're starting to spike here, which is good. These are the days where you want to be able to take multiple trades. These are the days where it really pays off to not be under the PDT. A lot of days do pay off, but in hot markets, it is so important to be able to freely trade. And I think this is where something like TradeFunder really comes in handy. Again, I know a lot of you guys are already using TradeFunder here. Oh, and sweet, GLAP LLC, name is Dwayne. Thanks, Dwayne. We got Dwayne The Rock Johnson in here. But back to TradeFunder for just a second. This is where TradeFunder, I think, comes in really handy. For those of you guys who are used to being under the PDT and not able to freely trade as much as you would like, well, now you don't need to worry about that. You're going to be over the PDT with a $25,000 account and $100,000 of buying power. You're getting literally some of the best support out there, by the way. They're a really awesome support team too. But you're getting access to capital to freely trade. And if you're used to using a small account, you're now getting access to more money to trade with. For example, PLRZ, right? If a trader is really confident in this trade, they can take like 1,500 shares of this. If that runs $6 a share, that's a $9,000 win, right? For that 3-to-1 target. This is where like trading can get really fun. And now, to be fair, I wouldn't want anybody just going all in PLRZ if they're not used to trading it, if you're not yet consistent. Again, I'm going to hammer this every single day. You guys, this is going to be my new motto for you guys who are not yet consistent. You're still here learning every day, but you're not consistent yet. Size down. Size down. What if you took 5 shares of PLRZ, right? What if you took 5 shares, risked $10 total in the position if the trade does set up, but it runs $6 to $10? Well, that's still a great trade, a great start to profitability. I mean, the crazy thing is, right, you do that every single day for the month, and that comes out to like $1,000 a month still, roughly. 20 days a month, call it $50 a day. That comes out to $1,000 a month for anyone who can figure out how to do that consistently. But like, that's risking such small size, right? So small that you're in the learning phase. Now imagine what happens when you start to size up, right? So I find that one of the I got a question earlier. Did I have any big losses early in my career that made me consider giving up? You know, the funny thing is, like, by dollar amount, no. Percentage account, yes. I had a small account and I took a couple multi-$100 losses, which I shouldn't have. But I never lost more. My biggest loss, I think, early on was probably like $250, maybe $300 in a single trade. Because I knew from an early stage that I should be trading small until I learned the right way. The unfortunate part is I just couldn't trade that much. So I not only had to trade small, but I also could only take a couple of trades a week. So it slowed down the growth process. It slowed down the learning curve. If I had something like TradeFunder when I first got started, I would have done the same exact thing, but I would be taking about 10 or 15 trades a day, trying to figure it out, just learning what works and what doesn't. You know, what's funny, as soon as I got over the PDT, that is exactly what I did, right? I literally just kept my size small. I risked like $15 or $20 a trade, and I got data on it. And the craziest part is, even at risking $20 a trade, I made I think $4,000 that month, right? And then when I sized up to $50 a trade, I made $10,000, actually $12,000 that month. You don't need to be aggressive. It's about becoming consistent as a trader, and that's who TradeFunder is really looking for. They're looking for traders who are not trying to swing and hit a home run every day, but instead trying to do this as a way to build ideally reliable income, not only for yourselves, but they benefit when you make money too. TradeFunder, it's a prop firm, so prop firms take profit splits. They've got one of the best in the industry. Again, normally prop firms do like a 60-40 split or a 70-30 split. TradeFunder does an 80-20 split. So if you make 10 grand, you're keeping $8,000 of that. And from there, it's really up to you. The sky is really the limit. They've partnered with Stocks to Trade. We're a trading education company. We've had a lot of amazing traders come up through our community. I'm one of them. Monaco is one of them. Millionaires coming through this community. And so their bet is that, well, I'm going to be here with you just about every day, helping you get your eyes on the right stocks, teaching you the right concepts to do this on your own and become self-sufficient. And hopefully you got a higher chance of success than the random Joe on the street that just decides they want to be a trader. You're here learning day in and day out. And so for that, they're going to give you a big discount off of this account. So normally, if you were to go through TradeFunder's website and get access to this, it would run you about $1,400 plus a $99 platform fee for that access to the $25,000 in capital. With our discount here today, it's going to be $800 plus a $99 platform fee. So I want to go ahead and actually give you guys this link right here. Drummer said, but what's the loss? The loss total is $800. So sky's the limit. If you blow up your account, you lost $800 and then your $99 platform fee. So for me, that's a great risk reward trade, right? If that was my risk in a trade, if I had unlimited upside and an $800 risk, I'm taking that trade all day, right? I mean, PLRZ, that's kind of how I see it, right? I could basically risk, X amount of dollars, but $2 a share, call it. But I mean, literally, this could go like $20 or $30 if it wants to. That's also risk reward. That's great. Right? Imagine I'm risking $800 total, but I'm able to make thousands of dollars, if not tens of thousands, right? To me, that's like what TradeFunder has the opportunity to be for those of you guys who are truly looking for consistency. So again, no need to go massive size, right? Because here's the truth. You have a max drawdown of $3,750, okay? If you're risking $10 a trade, that is 375 straight losses you'd have to take before they shut off your account. Honestly, if you lose 375 straight trades, that would be one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. I've never lost more than 12 in a row throughout my entire trading career, even before I knew what I was doing. You also have $1,000 per day of loss limit. So if you lose $1,000 in a day, they're not going to shut off your account for good, but they are going to say, hey, come back again tomorrow. But not, this isn't, you're over trading today. You're not in a good headspace. Come back tomorrow. They need to protect their capital too. So I think it's more than fair. Again, on a $25,000 account, I don't think there is a single reason that anyone here should be losing $1,000 in a day, but that's just me. So guys, go ahead, check out that link. I'm not going to sit here and say that this, again, is the perfect solution for every trader on the planet. But I do think it's an amazing solution for those of you guys who are undercapitalized and are not able to get enough data to learn how to trade properly because you can only take 3 trades a week. I think it's great for those of you guys who are already feeling consistent, maybe with a smaller account, but you could hugely benefit from more money. I think it's also a great solution for those of you guys who might already have a big account. You are profitable. You are consistent. This is another account with more buying power. If you're already consistent, I'm sure a lot of you know, right? At least I can tell you. One of the biggest drawbacks of a hot market is not having enough buying power. When you're consistent as a trader, it's like you need max buying power every day. Well, this is a really great way to get more buying power for those of you guys in that boat. I'm sure it's not a ton of you guys here yet, but I hope that it becomes a lot of you guys here. Who is this not for in my mind? Swing traders. This is a day trading platform. It's a day trading brokerage. So make sure that if you're a swing trader, this probably isn't going to be the best solution for you. It's also not for home run hitters. If you're only here for home runs, probably in the wrong spot. This is for those of you guys who want to build consistency. I got a question here. Is there any number of trades we have to take per week? No. Nope. They want you to be consistent, but that doesn't mean they want you to trade every day just to be consistent. If being consistent for you means waiting for that one A+ trade every couple of times a month that you might get, sometimes your A+ might only come once or twice a month. But if that's what that means to you, you can trade once or twice per month, right? So no, there's not a minimum number of trades that you have to take per week. Can I short using TradeFunder? You can short easy to borrow stocks using TradeFunder. This is not going to be hard to borrow brokerage. Most aren't. So this is mainly for, you can short easy to borrow, which there are tons of easy to borrow options. Even this morning in pre-market, there were tons of easy to borrow options, right? Earlier, I was showing you guys how a lot of these went red. A lot of those trades went red. By the way, I just dropped that link back in the chat for you guys here. Let me go back over to our screen really quick. Right. So this morning we had 2 easy to borrow trades that completely round tripped. EKSO, right? This gapped up. This went from 7 down to 350. It faded 50%. This was easy to borrow. FRSX, another easy to borrow trade. This went from $3 down to $1.76. Another 50% dump from highs, right? So these are easy to borrow trades that any trader could have taken. You can trade in pre-market using TradeFunder, 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. $99 is a monthly platform fee. Again, I know for some of you guys who are coming from commission-free brokerages, you're like, what? I pay probably between all my brokerages $500 a month in platform fees, brokerage fees. So $100 a month is, well, for me, nothing. For most traders who are using specialty brokerages, it's just part of the business. Oh, that's so cool. That is so cool. Kevin says, wow, looking for a job in the evening now to free up my mornings. Been saving up enough money to get over PDT. This speeds up everything for my trading journey. So again, I can't hammer this home enough, right? But this is what I'm talking about. This is why I always say, like, I wish I had access to this when I first got started, because the truth is, maybe I wasn't ready to be consistent yet, right? But I would have been able to get that data so much faster. I'd been able to learn what I was doing right and what I was doing wrong significantly faster than I was only able to take 3 trades a week. So I think this is a really great solution for those of you guys who are in the boat that I was in too. Where, like, I was starting to feel consistent. I wasn't perfect yet, but I was working towards consistency. And I had to save up to get over PDT. I worked so many little side jobs to get over PDT. And you just don't need to do that anymore. Now there's an opportunity where you can go out there and freely trade. And again, there's a profit split, yes, but it's 80-20. You may, if I were doing this, right, the way that I would go and do this, I can't speak for each and every one of you. What I would do is I would go into this. It's an $800 investment plus that $99 platform fee. I would try to make like $1,200, $1,500. I would pull out $1,000. Now that account is risk-free. If I don't know, if I blow it up, I can just use house's money, right? I can just use house's money now and do it again. No PDT with my cash account. What type of account puts you under the PDT rule? I'm confused. Margin accounts. So yes, you can use a cash account and trade freely. But again, issue then is that number one, you can run out of cash. You can only take so many trades. So again, if let's say you have a $2,000 account, what I did this for a little bit and I hated it. I had a $2,000 cash account. And so I would give myself $1,000 a day to trade with. Unfortunately, my average position size was like $250 or $300, and that's very small size, right? Well, then I got like 10 trades a day, max. No, not even. Sorry, like 7 trades a day. And like there would be, in a hot market, there are more than 7 trades a day. For example, yesterday on AHMA, I took 3 trades on it yesterday, the one ticker, lost 1. With this, you're able to take $25,000 per position, as much as you'd like. Well, that's what you can start off doing because you have a $25,000 account, but you get the point. Yeah, Kevin, I completely agree. So much pressure when you only have 3 trades a week. I've been holding on to losers, hoping for a bounce back just because I didn't want to waste a trade. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. I don't want you guys going through that anymore. I want to make sure that you guys are able to get access to the right trades. I do have to get hopping off here, guys. Again, huge shout out to TradeFunder. They're the reason that we're doing these webinars, and they're the reason that I'm seeing so many of you guys in this chat crushing it with these trades. We have great opportunities. PLRZ at this point feels like it's probably going to be more of a midday or afternoon trade. But I want you guys to be prepared for this. And by the way, when you click that link that I've dropped in the chat to bring you over to the TradeFunder page, right up at the top of the page, when you click that link, you'll see this button, get your funded stock account now, get started in less than 90 seconds. You will literally be able to trade within like 10 or 15 minutes, as long as they're not swapped. You'll be able to trade like ASAP. So get ready, get prepared. I think there are great trades on their way today. I think PLRZ is likely one of them. I want you guys to be ready to hit that, even if it's with small size. You don't need to go in size into this crazy. Do whatever you are comfortable with, given your skill level. If you have any other issues, questions, literally just reach out to support@tradefunder.com. They're super responsive. They'll get back to you ASAP. But yeah, guys, take advantage of this. That link has just been dropped in the chat. Seeing one more question before I get off of here. Saying, how do you shorten TradeFunder? Do you have to locate first? Where's the option for it? You just click sell. The same way that you would click buy, you click sell. Because if it's easy to borrow, it's the same thing. Anyways, y'all, I am going to be hopping on out of here. Click that link. That's your homework. Check it out. See if it's a good fit for you. I hope it is, because it was for me. But I'll catch you guys back here tomorrow, and I hope you guys are all having a great day. Bye, everybody.